Hi guys, it's me Val, Toxic Free. Happy Sunday. So let's see what we're going to talk about today. Good question. There's obviously the elephant in the room. We know what elephant that is. There's two elephants in the room actually. I probably will touch on the elephants at some point, so you know me. But over the last week or two, I'm going to share things with you. Now I obviously have started this channel up. I'm not a channel that dives into the psychology of narcissist abuse. I just started it for somewhere to share my thoughts and share my feelings and hope that my stories and my experiences can kind of relate to others, and we can all share our stories below in the comments, which we do, which is brilliant. But over the last few weeks, I think something happened that I noticed, and I had to cut off from everybody for a few days, which I did do. I did worry a few people again, and I'm going to say sorry to them, but I needed to get away from the projection. When I was dealing with my ex, the projection was just coming from him. But what I noticed recently, and I think the more subscribers I have, the more comments I get. I don't get that many trolls, which is good, but the odd trolls that I get, the situation with this Mexico nightmare that's going on, that I'm not going to let go, obviously, because well, I'll tell you the reasons for that later in another video, which I'm hopefully going to do a second one today. I actually got to the point where the projection of so many people, of people that were supposed to support me, people that were meant to be my friends, people, obviously trolls, the amount of stuff that was going on in my little head at one point, I actually lost myself for a little while. My channel's very honest. I don't hide who I am from you all, because that wouldn't help anybody. Because I think the fact that maybe my channel is honest and I am open is the opposite to what narcissist abuse is about. And I think you want to find channels that are like that, who are honest and open, which is why I'm so obsessed with people who aren't honest and open. Seriously, have you noticed that? And it's not a case of being obsessed with the person, it's being obsessed with what they stand for, and what they're actually doing, and the fact that what they're doing is going to hurt people. That's my obsession. My obsession is not about them personally, so they can stop thinking that, because that's what they keep thinking. I think the amount of projection that I had over the last few weeks, it just got so much for me, and I couldn't cope with it anymore. I actually lost myself for a little while. I also seemed to lose my channel for a little while, because I got to the point where I was listening to people too much. People were telling me what I should say and what I shouldn't say on my channel. And I was second guessing myself all the time. And I was thinking, well, should I say this and should I not say that? People were challenging me for reasons why I did this. And in fact, they were challenging my motives. And my motives were one thing, but they were telling me that my motives were something else. And that's what's got me thinking about projection. Of how, in a way, yes, projection is gaslighting, we know that. And the projection situation seemed to be just literally drowning me for the past few weeks. Now, again, I share my experiences with you. That's what my channel's about. So I'm going to try and make sense of what I was going through the last few weeks, and try and explain how I see projection in my own way. I got to the point where I just felt that I was just lost. And we know what it's like in narcissist abuse, that we lose who we are, we lose our identity. And I was feeling like over the last few weeks I was actually losing my identity. I was actually losing what I started this channel up for. I've never been one to not say what I feel. I've never been one to hide my thoughts or my opinions. I think you would have noticed that by now. But I was starting to do that. And I was starting to do it for all the wrong reasons, because I was actually doing it through projection of people. People were projecting their motives onto me. But I want to explain to you in an easy way, if I can. I think a lot of times projection, all the traits and all the narcissistical things, and it all gets so confusing, which is why I started my channel up. I mean, in one video I'm talking about coffee pots and kangaroos. My examples I try and keep. There is probably different ways of looking at projection, but this is how I look at projection. This is how I've been thinking about it over the last few days when I had to have some time out because I was going mental. And also, once you know how projection works, it's knowing what narcissists do to you and how they work and what they mean when they do things to how we react to it. If we know what they're doing, we can process it and we can deal with it in a decent way where we're not going to get hurt. Projection now, really difficult to explain. Let's say Jenny and John are walking down the street together. Jenny is a really quiet, empathic person. She's pure at heart, she's pure in mind, and she's an honest, caring, open person. And she's with John for some reason. John is a toxic narcissist who is not a very nice person. I don't know what Jenny sees in John, but together they walk down the street, let's put it that way. They see a teenager, a young lad, playing the guitar, and a sign in front of him says, "Please give generously, money goes to charity." Now Jenny, being kind of heart and pure and an empath and can't see bad in people, which is her own projection. The fact that she can't see bad in people is the projection of herself. She's a nice, kind, pure of heart person. She sees the same thing in others. She looks at the guy doing the busking and thinks, wow, isn't that lovely? That's really sweet that he's sitting there and he's giving the money to charity. Next to her is John. John's a narcissist. John's a toxic arsehole. He reflects his inside onto that person. He sees a boy busking for money who's probably going to take it. And he probably turns around to Jenny and goes, "Oh, this is stupid. He's probably going to steal that money. He's probably going to get all that money. He's pretending he's doing it for charity. He's going to leg it and go and buy some beer." That's him projecting his inside, because that's how he lives his life. He is seeing that person doing that is something that he would probably do. A lot of narcissists, they don't understand why some people would just do stuff not for gain, but they would do stuff for others. They don't have that in them. They don't feel that urge to do something, to be selfless. That's the last thing a narcissist is, a selfless person. He wouldn't even know how to be selfless if it slapped him around the face. So Jenny's there looking at the boy thinking, wow, what a lovely thing, because she's projecting her insides onto him. The toxic person, the narcissist, John, he's projecting himself onto that person. Now, the motive of the boy doing the busking, we will never know what his motive is, but what we've done is we projected what we think he's doing onto that child. So the toxic person is projecting onto that child and saying, oh, he's probably going to steal the money. Why? Because the toxic person's whole life has probably been the same thing where he's done stuff for gain. He's probably done that when he was a child. He's probably busked and cheated and lied and stolen money. He's probably done all those things. He hasn't got that in him to see the niceness and the goodness in other people. He's using his motives. His motive for busking, if he wanted to do the busking, his motive to busk would be to steal the money at the end of the day, even though it said, please give please give to charity. He would use that money on himself. So when he sees somebody else doing it, he projects himself onto that person and thinks, his motive, he'll be doing it for the gain and he won't be giving that money to charity. Can you see the difference? Two people with two different histories, two different triggers, two different pasts, two different experiences, they will both project their motive onto that person in two different completely ways. Now, we don't actually know what that person's motive for doing the busking is. Yes, he could be doing it for charity, which is very kind. He could be lying and he could have that board up saying, please give generously, this money goes to charity, so that more people give and he has more money at the end of the day. But we don't know the motive. We do not know his motive for doing it. We just project our motive for doing it onto them. So that's how projection works. Another thing, I'll give you a second example. You know, you could be living with somebody who's a narcissist, and you could say to them, I'm just going to go around to my mum's to clean the kitchen and help her tidy up and do the washing because she's not very well today and I want to help her. The narcissist will turn around and say to you, oh, you're just doing that to make... What, you want something from your mother, do you? You're doing it just for something. There must be some reason you're doing it. And you're going, no, there's no reason. I want to do it because I care and I want to help her. Yeah, right, you want something off her, don't you? That's him projecting himself onto the situation. He's putting his motive onto you. You want to go around and help your mum because she's not well, and you don't want to gain from it. You want to give, you want to be selfless. But in the past, the narcissist has probably gone around to his parents' house to help because they've wanted to gain something. They cannot see the point of doing something that's not going to gain for you. They don't understand why we would go somewhere and do something for somebody else so that they can benefit from it. They're all about the motive. It's an ulterior motive. So that's what I'm saying, is that we could be saying we're going around to help our parents clean the house up because maybe my mum's not well. And they'll think that we're doing it because we want something out of it. That's his projection onto you. And that's a lot of the time why we end up arguing with the narcissist completely, because we're always having to prove that our motive is not their motive. How many times have we all said, no, it's not because of that, I'm not doing it for that reason, I'm doing it for this reason, and we're always having to stand up for our motive. Another example of projection is something that I've noticed that I'll do. Now, when I was seeing Stumpy, haven't seen him for a long time, or the somatic sexual narcissist guy that you'd be talking to them on Messenger, and next minute they'd disappear for half an hour. But you trust these people at first, so you send them messages and they lie to you and lie to you and lie to you and tell you that they've been asleep or they didn't read your message, and you accept it until you realise that you've been cheated on, and until you realise, oh my God, that's why they did it. What happens is that experience stays within us and causes us to then project that experience onto the next person. So the next person that you're talking to on the phone or on the messenger, let's say, and you type something and they read it and don't reply back for half an hour, you're going to project that onto them. You might be talking to somebody, or you might have some messages you've sent to your boyfriend and they don't reply to them straight away, or they disappear. You automatically project that experience onto your boyfriend, where you start getting anxiety. It's like a protective mechanism in the end. It turns into projection can also help you in some ways. That's our gut feeling sometimes. But again, sometimes our gut feeling is wrong because it's a projection of ourselves. I'm hoping you're understanding this. Where the next time we see the boyfriend, we say to them, are you cheating on me? You're cheating on me, aren't you? And they say, no, I actually had to go down to the door. The doorbell rang. I had to leave you for half an hour because there was someone at the door. We are projecting our motive that we've had experience before with being ignored on Messenger, or having our texts ignored for 3 or 4 hours, and we thought back then it was innocent, and we realised after a while that we were actually being cheated on. So what happens is the next partner that comes along does the same thing for a very innocent reason. We project our experience onto that next person. I hope that actually makes sense, because I think once you can understand what projection is and how it goes about, when somebody says you're not doing that because you want to, you're doing it because you want to gain from something. You're not going to help your mum because you just want money. You probably want to borrow some money off your mum. Their motive, they probably wanted to get money for doing something nice, not us. So rather than fight them and say, no, I'm doing it because I want to help my mum, because I love my mum. I don't want money, or I don't want something for it. I don't want to gain for helping my mum. I'm helping my mum because I love her. The next time they throw that at you and they throw their motive, their projection from inside them, from things that they've done in the past, which is probably screw their mum over or screw a friend over, to do something because they're going to get some kind of financial gain from it, or some kind of ego or supply from it, we must stop and think, they're doing that through a projection. So we need to stop and think, I'm not going to fight him. I'm not going to prove to him that I'm doing this because I love my mum, or I'm not doing this favour for a friend because I want to gain something. We need to stop and we need to think. Okay, breathe and go, okay, whatever. that's your opinion. Because that's all it is. It's his projection, projecting onto you, and it's only an opinion. I'm hoping I'm explaining this right, because it's such a... That's why I don't want to get too deep within the philosophy. It's deep enough and it's hard enough to explain anyway. But just remember, and most of the fights between us and other people is because they're projecting their own trigger, their own history, their own experiences, everything that they are, that they've lived, that is in their blood, they are projecting onto you because they presume that your motive would be the same as theirs, and it's not always the same. So going back to why I had a real tough time last week was because my motive for doing certain things over the past few weeks was a completely different motive to what I was being told by other people around me. People were telling me I was doing this for that. You're doing this for that. The only reason you're doing that is because you want to do that. And it's like, after a while, I was like that. You just think, I can't, no. And you fight, and you're having to fight to prove who you are. I know who I am. You know who you are. So the next time someone comes up to you and starts to project their self onto you, think about it and just stop and breathe and try not to fight back. Try not to explain yourself. Try not to have to fix it or tell them, no, I'm doing this because I love my mum, or I'm doing this because I'm walking the neighbour's dog because I want to walk the neighbour's dog, not because I want to gain some money from it, or I want to make sure that next time I can like throw it back at her in the future and say and get something from her, because there's always some kind of a payment with a narcissist. And that's why I think also that narcissists do go for us, because we project the good self. They can be what they like, they can be who they want to be, but we just project our good self onto everybody. They don't have to even try hard to be a good person, because our projection of anybody is, oh, they're just like me. It's actually called complementary projection, but I don't want to go too much in deep. I might make more videos on this because it actually really interests me. But we do think that everybody is like us, and we project our experiences, we project our triggers, and we project everything that has happened to us in our lives. We think that other people's motives for doing something would be the same as our motives, and they're not. They're not. So please just remember that next time somebody wants an argument with you because they're trying to say that, the only reason that you're mowing the next door's lawn is because you want to get something off them. And you know that you're mowing that lawn because you love the neighbours, they're your friends, and you just want to do something nice for somebody, and they don't understand that. That's why they look at us and think, you must have a motive for doing something. What's the motive for doing that? Why are you being nice to your neighbour? Then you must have a reason. Because they can't understand that there doesn't have to be a bloody reason. Because we do it because we want to do it. So yeah, I felt like shit over the past few weeks because the motives for me doing what I was doing, making a video to help somebody or making a video for narcissist awareness, was being twisted into motives that maybe were projected from them. And I had so many going on in 1 week. I've had people saying things like, why don't you just go no contact with these people? I've chose to do a channel on narcissist awareness to help people and to support people. I'll do what I can do. I can only do my best on this channel. I'm not going to profess to be some coach or somebody who knows it all. I don't know it all. I just want to be somebody that maybe someone can talk to and relate to. And I don't like to see people get hurt. Now I can go around, coaches can go around, channels can go around telling people who are having relationships or are married or are friends with narcissists to go no contact. But there's no way. It doesn't apply to me. It doesn't apply. I'm not going to include a lot of coaches in that because a lot of coaches, they don't want to get involved. But if I want to get involved and I want to go contact and I want to continue to fight narcissists, and I want to continue to make awareness that there's people in the community that are narcissists. I'm going to do it. I'm not going to go no contact, because that's me turning a blind eye to somebody that's going to get hurt. And that's the trouble with people. They hide behind the narcissist traits, the labels, the diagnosis. They can get away with so much more because of the don't feed the narcissist, don't supply the narcissist, oh, go no contact with the narcissist. The narcissist is laughing half the time because all these, they've picked the best community to come into, because we protect them a lot of the time. We protect them because of the no contact rule. Now, yeah, I'm saying go no contact if you're having a one-on-one. If you've got a boyfriend who's hurting you and who's abusing you, go no contact. But I cannot go no contact with people in this community, and I will not turn a blind eye and enable other people. That's what stressed me out last week, is the motive for me doing something was my motive and not anybody else's. It had nothing to do with anybody else why I do something. I lost my way. I didn't know what my channel was about. I was obeying everybody else's rule. I was being censored. I was being told my motives for doing something was this, this, this and this. And I just thought, what the hell's going on? And I had to turn the computer off, turn Facebook off, and I got a few people worried for a few days because I couldn't cope with all the bloody projection that I was getting. I've cleared my head now. I've thought about it, and I now know what happened. So no, I'm not going to evolve into a person that other people want me to be. I'm not going to evolve into this no contact person that is going to stop doing things because other people are projecting their motives of why I'm doing stuff onto me. Don't judge people. That's what a projection is. It's judging people. Judging people for doing certain things when it's actually not the reason for doing it. And then we end up having arguments and arguments trying to prove. And half the time, the narcissists actually know the reason why we're doing something, but they just want to wind us up anyway. We need to stop fighting with them. We need to just know what they do things and why they do things and the reasons behind doing things. And we need to just smile and say, you need a hug. So I hope that made sense. But I'm going to do another video on projection, and I'm going to show it firsthand. And that's me going back to my true self. That's me doing me. That's not me doing what somebody expects me to do, or that's not me doing something or not doing something because I'm scared of somebody's motive and projection being put onto me, and all of a sudden I'm this person that they say that I am when I'm not actually that person. This is confusing, and that's the trouble why narcissism is so confusing, because I sound very confusing, but I think if you can all read between the lines and actually try and work out what I'm saying, I think you'll understand me. Narcissism is the hardest thing. This is why there's thousands and thousands of channels talking about it. I'm going to leave you now. So, let's hope I've made sense. Okay guys, take care. See you soon.